There was once a time when $5,000 could score a decent sports car. Unfortunately, those days are long gone. Today, finding new sports cars for under $5,000 is as difficult as expected. Finding any used car for under $5,000 is a search that will leave you empty-handed. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 best used sports cars under $5,000. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome auto guides and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So let's cut to the chase. At 10, 2004 Nissan 350Z is becoming a popular choice for first-time sports car owners, from $5,000. The 2004 Nissan 350Z will not be easy to find under $5,000, but there are still a few cars out there in that price range. You may have to put a little work into it, but that is par for the course when buying a used sports car. This car is a two-seater sports car with some attitude built into it from the start. The Nissan 350Z comes with a 3.5-litre V6 that can pump out 287 horsepower and 274 pound-feet of torque. That pushes the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a matter of 5.8 seconds, which allows it to gain speed quickly when coming out of a sharp corner. It is truly a car worth waiting for, so keep an eye on the models coming up for sale. At this price point, you are more likely to get an automatic Roadster or a more desirable spec that needs work. At 9, 2011 Hyundai Genesis Coupe is a blast from the last decade, from $4,500. 2011 may seem like you are pushing the boundaries of finding a sports car for under $5,000, but the truth is that the Hyundai Genesis Coupe can be found in running condition for right around that amount. And for one that needs a little bit of work, they sell for around $4,500 or less. It will all depend on the seller and the market's current value, but it is definitely a car to look out for. The 2011 Genesis Coupe came straight from the factory with a turbocharged 2-litre 4-cylinder pushing out 210 horsepower or a 3.8-litre V6 producing 306 horses. The Genesis is more of a sporty Grand Tourer, which makes the Infiniti G37 a more proper comparison. It's one of the more usable sports cars on the list, and due to it still being largely underappreciated, even V6 models can be had for cheap. At 8, 2006 Volkswagen Golf Mk5 GTI is a hot hatch classic, from $4,000. The Volkswagen Golf may not seem to be a sports car of any kind. In fact, it was marketed as a family sedan that was fuel efficient and comfortable. The 5th generation Golf brought its own GTI version, along with the first 2-litre turbo 4 engine in the model's history. It was a more sophisticated take on the segment compared to the likes of Honda Civic Type R and Renault Megane RS, which were more hardcore. The Mk5 Golf GTI was the ultimate usable hot hatchback of its day, with plenty of practicality and class to go along with the performance. At 7, 2009 Chevrolet Cobalt SS is a true sleeper, from $2,800. The Chevy Cobalt is another car that not everyone will look at like a sports car, but its performance speaks for itself. The 2009 Cobalt SS comes straight from the factory with a turbocharged 2-litre 4-cylinder that kicks out up to 260 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. It may surprise you when getting behind the wheel and stopping on the gas, because it will launch off the line and reach 60 within 5.6 seconds. Since this car is not a sports car in most circles, it can easily be found under the $5,000 limit set. The thing is that when looking, you will need to make sure that the car being looked at is indeed the SS model. Otherwise, you may end up with a 4-door family sedan with no get up and go. At 6, 2001 Mercedes-Benz SLK320 is luxury gone wild, from $3,900. Even in the wildest of dreams, you may never have thought that a Mercedes would be on a list of sports cars for under $5,000. For the most part, they may be a correct assumption, but you would be dead wrong when it comes to the 2001 Mercedes-Benz SLK320. Examples that need some work can be found for way under the limit. Cars that are in decent running shape can even be found for cheap, which is surprising because usually the Mercedes name makes it a car worth buying. Under the hood of the SLK320, the 3.2-litre V6 with an aluminum block, and you'll find a single overhead cam. The engine is more powerful than the turbocharged 4-cylinder from the previous year, pushing out up to 215 horsepower and 229 pound-feet of torque. This carries the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds, give or take a few tenths depending upon the transmission and driver. The 6-speed manual and 5G Tronic automatic are both stout transmission options. At 5, 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse from $3,990. Since 1989, the Mitsubishi Eclipse has been a JDM icon that never quite matched the likes of the Supra or Skyline in terms of status. Nevertheless, early generations became popular platforms to build upon while still remaining relatively affordable. Since 2017, Mitsubishi put the iconic nameplate on a bland SUV, enraging many a JDM fan. Salvation comes in the form of the 4th generation Eclipse, which is actually good and currently a great value for money on the used market. Its unique design is backed by a stout 6G75 V6 engine, although for under $5,000, most examples feature the 2.4-litre 4-banger. The 4G Eclipse looks the same regardless of engine. These stylish coupes are reliable and more fun than the car community gives them credit for. At 4, 1996 Jaguar XK8 from $4,950. Jaguar always prides itself with the sportiest of grand tourers, and when it comes to affordable examples, the 1996 Jaguar XK is one of the top picks. The sleek design of the big 2+2 coupe is backed by a V8 engine that has a lot in common with the Ford Thunderbird engine. Later versions feature a larger 4.2-litre unit, but for $5,000 you'll have to settle for an earlier model. You can also forget about the more desirable supercharged variants. The 5-speed automatic comes from Mercedes and sends power exclusively to the rear axle. The XK100 platform dates back to the Jaguar XJS, a car introduced in 1975. The XK's interior adheres to the Baroque style, featuring vast amounts of wood and leather, cocooning you in luxury. Pre-2000 models suffer from excessive oil consumption, loss of compression and engine failure. At 3, 2003 Mercedes CLK320 from $4,900. The C209 A209 generation CLK shares a platform with the W209 C-Class, and while $5,000 won't get you the V8-powered AMG variant, the CLK320 is the next best thing. The M112 engine is the same one you get in the aforementioned Mercedes SLK320 as well as Chrysler's Crossfire. This entry-level Grand Tourer from Germany is not the most exciting thing to look at, but it oozes with the typical Mercedes class and luxury of the early 2000s. The C-Class underpinnings are solid enough, and you can get it as a hardtop coupe or a softtop convertible. If you decide to go a bit over the $5,000 budget, these are available with well under 100,000 miles on the clock. The V6 engine is generally reliable, but crankshaft pulleys and harmonic balancers are prone to failure. The injectors are also sensitive to low-quality fuel. At 2, 2003 BMW Z4 Roadster from $4,500. BMW's answer to the Mazda MX-5 came in the form of the Z3. In 2003, it got a successor in the form of the first Z4. The E85 generation retained the classic sports car design, featuring a long hood and short rear deck, but in a more sophisticated package. Like the Z3, the Z4 was a parts bin special, featuring parts from the E82 1 Series and E92 3 Series. This includes the engines, which are almost exclusively inline sixes. The best part is, you don't need to look hard to find a decent 25i, 30i or even 30si examples of the Z4 for around $5,000. These are generally reliable cars with an easy maintenance, but if you don't keep track of it, leaky gaskets, failing water pumps and defective thermostats could cause issues. The coupe versions are significantly more expensive, meaning you'll have to settle for the soft-top convertible models. And finally, at number 1, 2006 Ford Mustang GT from $4,900. The S197 Mustang was the first of the modern Mustangs to feature the retro-futuristic design, invoking the 1960s original. Long before the nameplate branched into the EV segment with models like the Mach-E, the S197 Mustang was still faithful to the original without trying hard to appeal to European and eco-friendly customers. The interior is equally retro, albeit dominated by cheap plastics. Excluding the crowd-hunting examples, some of which totaled, the S197 Mustang has stood the test of time. Because it's one of the more unloved generations, you can easily pick up one for under $5,000. At that price point, most examples come with a less desired 4-litre V6, but GT variants are also available. What's true for the SN95 Mustang GT also goes for the S197 model: stout mechanicals, vast aftermarket support, and low running cost. And there you have the top 10 sports cars anyone can buy for under $5,000. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic auto guides. See you next time.